technological embodiment. All the many and various ways that we, self and other, accomplish relations to being in possession of the bodies that we are. Before we even begin to talk about this subject, let me introduce you to the world of Deus Ex, Human Revolution. Deus Ex Human Revolution was released in August 2011. Is a first-person action-adventure video game. It takes place in 2027. Technology has advanced significantly, one of the main advances being artificial mechanical organs. These are called augmentations, and at this point in the future, artificial organs aren't just as capable as their real human counterparts. In many cases, they're better. What the player finds is a peculiar world dynamic, perfectly capable people removing perfectly capable body parts in order to replace them with an augmented, mechanized version. For those persons, perhaps their idea of abled has shifted with the growth of the technology. Maybe they could no longer do an action or activity as good as an augmented person. Perhaps from this stem of thought, they considered themselves disabled enough so to become augmented. Though to note, there are still people disabled who install augmentations to regain functionality. There are also yet people who cannot afford the technology, disabled and otherwise, who do not install augmentations. Back to technological embodiment. Put simply, technological embodiment is the idea that we are not just a brain piloting a bipedal flesh suit, but we are our body and anything that helps us routinely interact with the outside world. Technological embodiment helps us understand that in the world of Deus Ex, augmentations are considered one with a person. They help a person experience the world around them. They become a part of a person. These people with these devices are technologically embodied. It's not just going to be a prosthetic arm, but rather Jensen's arm. It's not just a neural enhancement. It's Malik's neural enhancement. Those who have the augmentations, without them, can they feel whole? Even if you might not feel whole without your glasses, or your phone. An easier comparison might be, could a blind individual feel like themselves without their white cane? Or perhaps an older generation without their hearing aids? In either circumstance, I might argue that without our tools and devices that fall under technological embodiment, we cannot experience the world to its fullest extent. In Deus Ex Human Revolution, the player character is a security guard for an augmentation company. Adam Jensen, who after a very near-death experience is revived by his boss with many augmentations. Adam did not choose to be augmented, but now he has to find peace with himself and his new life as an augmented individual. Melanchon speaks extensively of the Bionic Woman, which has a similar cyborg-type scenario fueling its plot. Melanchon states, her new bionic body was not a what. Instead, her newly bionic body reflected how she was going to live and how her body and its meaning had changed to one that was technologically embodied. She is both human and inhuman. She is both abled and disabled. She is embodied and technologically embodied. She illustrates the impact of technologies on the making and remaking of bodies, no matter whether those bodies are classified as abled or disabled. Jensen, like the Bionic Woman, through the course of the plot, learns how he is going to live, and how he can take full advantage of the abilities that the augmentations give him. Melanchon makes an interesting point, that a cyborg would be both abled and disabled, both embodied and technologically embodied. When we talk of ability and disability, there seems to be a gray area that exists, perhaps because no ability spectrum exists. According to Melanchon, our character Jensen, clearly with the capacity to go beyond human evolution, is still in a way disabled. In the world of Deus Ex, the idea that augmented persons are disabled is shown through discrimination. The player learns that aug is a derogatory name for someone with augmentations. Augmented individuals can't access certain areas or shop at certain places. These people, as perfectly capable as anyone else, and in many cases more capable and not technically considered disabled, are, more or less, socially outcasted. A similar problem exists today, and Millencolin calls it the hierarchy of assistive devices. As I mentioned earlier, there might not be a spectrum of ability, but there is still a binary of abled or disabled. This hierarchy of assistive devices suggests that consciously or subconsciously, society tends to file people within that binary. So then, is Adam Jensen, the player character, a mix of abled and disabled? Could he be something more? Should he fit into the binary? What about compared to today, when you see someone with prosthetic limbs? Do you consider them disabled? What would you say of their ability? What about people with glasses so that they can see? Are they disabled? Millencolin says, why is it that certain technologies have few stigmas while others have more? If any technological embodiment assists, then they should all be classified the same. The issue, then, is not first and foremost whether new technologies will revolutionize the lives of disabled people, but rather whether they will revolutionize the way we make distinctions between abled and disabled people. Is it because the augmentations in Deus Ex are more futuristic and capable that we may be more prone to saying their users aren't disabled? Where might the line need to be drawn in our real future? Do we decide to push the line of the hierarchy with new assistive technology, or do we find a way to erode it? These are questions I don't have answers to, folks. Regardless of what level of ability someone may have, one fact remains: they are technologically embodied. They're using assistive devices so that they can experience the world around them. Beyond that, it is a piece of them and their being. Many, if not all of us, are technologically embodied to some degree, but perhaps not quite as much as you'd see in Deus Ex, a beautiful dystopian cyberpunk world. Hope this video has stirred your thoughts. Thank you, and also goodbye. I could really go for some water right now. Psych. Get out of here.